Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be a day 4 of the Diddy sex trafficking trial. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Y'all, today was crazy. So I had to write down and jot down all my notes from the courtroom. Well, from home. So, I took notes with my pencil because we have to get into the tea, y'all. So like I said, today was day 4 of the P. Diddy sex trafficking trial. And so they're still live, but now where I'm at, it's 5 o'clock. So they went a little overtime today. It is now 5:25. And so they're just wrapping up, but they are done for the day. And y'all, today was a lot. Poor Cassie, she said a lot. They took breaks. She was crying, y'all. So today was a lot. I took down as much notes as possible because this trial, I feel like, would be easier on people like me, people like y'all, if we were able to be in the courtroom. But unfortunately, there's no cameras allowed. I don't know why. And there's no you can't record in the courtroom. So it's all really like T pages, news reporters, journalists. They just have to write down everything that is going on. And so I've been listening all day. And y'all, I'm going to start doing this every single day of the trial, writing down notes, because it's actually helping. And so, y'all, let's get into this. So today pretty much was Cassie and Diddy's lawyer. They were going back and forth. They were about, once again, their relationship. They were talking about why she did what she did, why she was there. The big question in all of this today was, why was she still there? If she was getting... So I feel like everybody's question that I've been hearing a lot. People I talk to about the case, people on the internet, news journalists, people like that. If she was so down bad, why did she stay? I feel like that was like the big thing in today. So y'all, we're gonna go through the notes. I started from this morning and I just ended, so I hope I have enough information for y'all. So see, like I said, it's Diddy and the lawyer and his lawyer. Well, yeah, his lawyer, it's a woman. And that was also a big thing too. A lot of people were like, they want a woman to question Cassie because y'all know she is preggo. She's actually 8 months allegedly, and she's about to give birth. She's about to pop. That's why they put her on the stand early, because of course when she gives birth, she's not want to go to court. Like, I'm sure, like, after all this, when she has her child, like, she's not even going to want to hear about all this. That's why they're trying to do this now, put it behind her now, because they know in a few weeks she will be giving birth and she will be unavailable for this case. And so, first page, so it's between Cassie and his lawyer. So Cassie tells Diddy that she wants his attention through text messages, right? And his lawyer was saying, I love you so much. And Cassie tells Diddy that she wants children with him. His lawyer, well, when I say the lawyer, it's really Diddy, but they're putting the lawyer in Diddy's position. Y'all see what I'm trying to say? I know y'all get it. And it says, so they sent nudes to each other. She wrote, Diddy wrote to Cassie, the lawyer said, did you really say that you wanted to F? F is... And Cassie said, I did write that. And then the lawyer said, what pills were you taking? Cassie said, opioids. She was saying that she took drugs because she did not want to feel... Well, it was a little confusing because y'all remember yesterday she was saying that she wanted to feel, and then today she was saying that she did want to feel. So that's a big error that they were... I know his defense team is gonna... That's a red flag. The lawyer says, were you afraid that he was only seeing you for sex? Cassie says that was a concern. The lawyer says, were you not public in your relationship with him? Cassie says, correct. So I guess at one point in time, they were not public. The lawyer says, were freak-offs important? Cassie says, integral to us. Y'all, I wanted to see what, I'm a student, but what does integral mean? Why didn't she just say yes or no to the question? She said, integral means to calculate. No, integral in English, y'all. Hold on. What does integral mean? Google's not giving me, I should go to ChatGPT. Google's not giving me the right definition, but I don't know why she put integral to us. She could have just said yes or no, which is confusing. And the lawyer says, so who was at your 21st birthday party in Vegas? Cassie says, Britney Spears, Dallas, Austin. The lawyer says, so how did you get them there? She said, y'all, this part really... No. I know at the beginning I said it was a man. It was a woman. It's actually a man. Because the lawyer is actually a man. Because I don't know why I put Miss. It's Mr. Right? But let me take it back, because I was saying that people were saying that they want a woman to question her, and they do, because she's sensitive, she's pregnant, stuff like that. But this lawyer is a man. I got a little mixed up. I say that to say because him and Cassie were flirting a little bit, which really threw me off. He was like, you're very beautiful and charming. Cassie says, thank you. He says, it's true. Why is he like I want to say flirting with her while questioning her? That really threw me off. And I was watching somebody else too, and they were like, it's a way, I guess, to like persuade her, to make her comfortable. But I've never heard of that. The lawyer was literally like, you're very beautiful and charming. She says, thank you, which is very off to me. And then the lawyer says, it's true. You are very beautiful. And so the lawyer says, who is Tommy Maltuvo? I hope I'm saying that right. A producer. Do you remember? The lawyer says, you remember if an assistant came in during an escort session? Cassie says, not necessarily. I was high. So you don't remember much, the lawyer says. Cassie said, I had my privacy invaded a lot during this relationship. So the lawyer says, Cassie says to Diddy, you say to Mr. Combs that you are horny and you are bored. And so at this point, he's just going through the text messages and stuff like that of their like freaky text messages. I heard that in court, they are not allowed to show. I don't know how they do that though, but I guess they're not like allowed to like, because this whole case is freaky, deaky, nasty, and very explicit. And so I don't want to see that. So they have like, I heard like they have like a barrier, but I don't know how they do. That's very interesting. Like they have a barrier in court because they don't want to show everything. But now they get into the fashion. Do you believe Mr. Combs has good taste? I think he does. They're talking about fashion. The lawyer says, does he have does he had a good impact on fashion? Cassie says people like his style. The lawyer says, do you ask him about your looks? Cassie says, sometimes I got advice, but I didn't ask for it. The lawyer says he still ran his companies while having these freak-offs. Cassie says he did. And then they get into the drug addiction. What was he addicted to? Cassie laughs and she says, success. And then the lawyer says, what substances was he used to? Cassie says, he told me opioids and I saw him taking it. And there was some point in time when Diddy was calling her, but she wasn't answering the phone. And the lawyer was like, so why weren't you answering? Cassie was saying, I was getting my eyebrows done. And there was a part in the trial today where Cassie, she came in early to sit down, and the judge like told her to like get up, get out, because I guess they didn't want her in certain like parts of the court session. And so she got up and she left. That was like a little thing that happened today. So the lawyer says, later in your relationship, did he bring up your relationship with Kid Cudi? Yes, he did. Do y'all remember a couple of years ago when it came out that Kid Cudi's car got blown up. Allegedly, P. Diddy, he was the cause of that. Allegedly, P. Diddy was upset that Kid Cudi and Cassie were seeing each other. So people are saying that that's an arson charge or something like that. Like, that's a whole nother thing. To know that, I think people were already saying that Diddy was a part of that, but they don't know why. So he wasn't like charged for anything. But comes to find out that Kid Cudi, he's a rapper. Kid Cudi and Cassie, they had, a little something going on. And then so it says, later in your relationship, did he bring up your relationship with Kid Cudi? Cassie says, yes, he did. And Cassie, she was filming a movie out of the country. And then so they were saying, did you block him while filming the movie? Cassie says, yes. And then, so y'all, a lot of celebrity names are now coming out, okay? First, with the car situation, it was Kid Cudi, the rapper. Now it's Michael B. Jordan. He's thrown into this. They're saying that I guess Diddy found out that her and Michael B. Jordan had something going on, and he was very upset, right? So it says, who did he think that you were talking to? Cassie says, Michael B. Jordan, okay? And then comes to find out, it came out, I got this tea today, that Diddy paid Cassie $20 million to settle within 24 hours. Y'all remember a few months ago when suddenly Cassie is the reason for this case to be out, because she wanted a settlement. She's the one that initiated all of this. So it came out that Diddy paid Cassie $20 million and they settled within 24 hours. And then so they were asking, how long were y'all together, Diddy and Cassie? Cassie says 11 years. They go into like their like romantic text messages. Diddy says, I'm a lucky man. Cassie said, I'm a truly lucky woman. I love you so much. Diddy says, I love you so much, I could cry. Back in 2009, Puffy says, I love you so much, I could cry. So they're just like expressing their love for each other, right? And then so, are you hungry, Pop Pop? No. Okay, let me know. Pop Pop that's what Cassie used to call her grandfather. Comes to find out that she was calling Diddy Pop Pop also. A picture came out yesterday where she had a pop necklace. Dang, I wish I could put this in. If I find that necklace, I'm gonna put that, not the necklace, oh my god. If I find that picture, I'm going to put it in this video. I will edit it in this video. But the pop thing was her grandfather's nickname and Diddy's nickname, which goes crazy. How do you call your man? Yeah, crazy. Girl, it's just too much. And then so Cassie says, I'm going to bed. It's still the romantic stuff. Like, she's like, I'm going to bed so it can be tomorrow sooner. Cute little love stuff. And so, this is interesting. She texts Diddy and asks Diddy what he wants to do during the freak-out sessions, okay? And then she expresses to Diddy how she wants to have more of she wants more than like a sexual relationship. She feels like everything is all clapping cheeks. Like, she wants more, from this, right? If you're a girl and you're in a relationship, you express to your man like, I feel like all we do is go to Pound Town and I want more. And she expressed that to Diddy, I want more than a sexual relationship. And then so his lawyer says, was his career ruined after you sued him back in 2022? Dang, it's been that long. It's 2025, y'all. Life goes fast. And so Cassie says, yes, I could understand that. And then so that's when Cassie tried to break up with him. Back when they were together, she did try to break up with him, but he was saying that if they did break up, her career would be ruined. And then so they would watch each other do stuff with other people. She would sit and watch. He would sit and watch. When I say stuff, I mean like they would watch each other do it with other people. And then so his lawyer says, did you ever call yourselves Get High Partners? Cassie says, yes, we did. She says, did you take The lawyer says, did you take drugs from him? Like, did you take drugs from him not knowing? Did he not know that you were, like, taking drugs from him? Cassie says, yes. What was his reaction when he found out that you were taking the drugs? Cassie says, explosives. The lawyer says, did he tell LA dealers not to deal with you? Cassie says, yes. And then Cassie goes into details how she, she was very depressed. She started using drugs a lot to numb the pain. She started to use drugs because she didn't want to feel what was going on. She wanted to escape it. Yesterday, dang, I wish I covered yesterday, but it's okay. But yesterday they were saying that I think in trial, 2 or 3, she was saying that she actually wanted to kill herself. Like, she literally told her husband, which is so sad, like, you can take care of the kids, I'm going. Like, and she almost walked into traffic, which is very sad, right? So that was a thing too. Her mental was in jeopardy, and it is still in jeopardy. Well, she's in therapy now, but her mental was definitely messed up. And then so his lawyer says, you tried to get into a rehab, the Golden Door. And Cassie says, it was a spa. There was a time I lost all of my sense and smell and woke up in a hospital with an IV in my arm. I tried to get help. And then the lawyer goes into, did you know that Diddy overdosed on opioids? I think that's how you say it. Opioids, opiate, y'all, drugs, okay? Pills. He overdosed on pills, okay? And then, Cassie says, yes, he overdosed. Oh, y'all, I took a lot of the notes. Oh, my God. Okay. And then, so, there was a point in time when they were on a boat, and, y'all, Diddy threw her off the boat. Like, he picked her up, allegedly, and threw her. This is the part where we get into that. So, it says, when Mr. Combs threw you off the boat in Canes, when he accused you of taking drugs, he was squeezing your legs. Cassie says, yes, among other things. But the lawyer says, but you still wanted to be with him. Cassie says, I did. I love how honest Cassie is, you know? I mean, she is on the stand, so she has to be honest. But, like, I love how she's very like, I did. Yeah, I did that. Yeah. Okay? And then the lawyer says, so switching topics. When you say Mr. Combs went with guns to find Suge Knight, do you remember telling the government that you went with them? And then Cassie says, no. Oh, the Suge Knight is a whole other, situation that we will get into. And the lawyer says, let me show you. So the lawyer at that point was, like, presenting her with, like, proof of her going with them. And then Cassie says, I did not go with them, so I don't think I said that. The lawyer says, you also did drugs with Miss Morgan. Cassie says, yes. Miss Morgan is somebody that she actually fell out with, that we're learning in this trial. She had a friend that she fell out with a long, long time ago. And then Cassie says, yes. Do you recall telling the government that you did not set what he did? I guess Diddy allegedly hit the friend in the head with the hanger. And Cassie says he was angry. I was doing drugs with the friend. Her and the friend were doing drugs together. And then the fight between Diddy and her friend ended their 17-year relationship. So the lawyer said, did this break up your 17-year friendship with her? Cassie says it did. The lawyer says, did you tell Mr. Combs about your relationship with your now husband? And Cassie says, no, I did not. Alex Fine Cassie is she's a family woman now. She did turn it around. She did change her life. She is married. She has 2 children, a baby on the way. She, like I always say, she's about to be due. So this lady has a whole family now, right? She moved on. She has a family. And her husband, I heard, is in the courtroom with her, period. So it says, did the friend sue you and Mr. Combs? Cassie says she made a demand. The lawyer said, and you paid for most of it. Cassie says yes. So I think pretty much here they're saying that the friend sued, but she's the one that paid out. She paid the money to Diddy. I think that's what that means. And then the lawyer says, have you spoken to her since? Cassie says, maybe once through text. And then the lawyer says, so that was the end of y'all's relationship? Cassie says, yes. And the lawyer says, y'all, it's not funny. The lawyer says, you heated up baby oil. Cassie says yes. And this is from the Intercontinental Hotel incident, right? When that whole Diddy thing happened, where the video of her getting beat in the hotel, that's the Intercontinental. And then y'all, they went through a lot of breaks today. Today was like, they would take like 3 to 4 hour breaks, right? I would be doing something and I would come back and I'll be like, wait, they're still on break? This is crazy. So I tried to take as much notes as I could. And so, my computer's dying. But they had their break session, right? 4 or 5 hours, not 4, like 3 hours later, they come back from break. And so the lawyer says, Mr. Combs went to your premiere lunch at London Hotel. Cassie says yes. And then Diddy says, I just got out of a spiritual session. Cassie says, how did it go? The lawyer, it said it's a process. This is leading up to the hotel incident. So I guess Diddy was like going through his own like spiritual stuff. And so the lawyer got into this again. They're really grilling her on, I feel like a lot of today was very like, they're really pushing for you knew. That's what, not she knew, but she was a willing participant in the freak offs. And I say that's what they're saying, right? Because it says, you say, baby, I want a FO. A FO is a freak off. She says, so you say, baby, I want an FO so bad. You were asking your direct and you said you didn't want to ruin your premiere. Cassie says, sure. And so, y'all, this goes crazy, right? So it says, Diddy said, so if we start at 7 p.m. and we go until 4 a.m., you can get rest after. Cassie says, yes. So they had a session from 7 p.m. to 4 a.m. I've never been good at math. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3, 4. 7, let me make sure. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3, 4. That's 10 hours of a freak off. And y'all, we all know now, a freak off for them, it's a non-stop belt to ass. Like, that's pretty much how it is. Belt to ass. Bop, 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 bop. So they went from 7 p.m. to 4 a.m. Y'all, where I'm at right now is 5:47. Where you're at, whatever time it is, imagine 9 hours from where you're at clapping cheeks. That is crazy. So Cassie says, yes, they agreed to it. So she said yes. The lawyer says, he's saying it'd be a shorter than a usual freak off. And then Cassie says, that's how I understand it. So I think usually they would go longer, but in this, he was pretty much saying that 7 p.m. to 4 a.m. is really not a long session, which goes crazy. And then so it says, what do you say? Carrie is here, but we can't do it at my house. And y'all, that was the day today. Like I said, they took a lot of breaks. In between time, they did take a lot of breaks today. Today was more, I feel like today was more like of an intense day for Cassie because his team is fighting for him. I'm not in the courtroom, but like it sounds like they are fighting for Diddy. They're really on, if you didn't want to do this, why were you such like a willing participant? That's what they're going to pinpoint, right? And so that was day 4. And tomorrow, y'all know Dawn Richards from Danity Kane, a group that he used to manage, the all-girl group. She will be there tomorrow testifying against P. Diddy because allegedly she went through a lot with Diddy too. So Dawn, she will be there tomorrow for day 5. And yeah, y'all, that today was day 4. So day 4 pretty much was just Cassie telling her, it was just Cassie explaining her side of the story, the drugs. Well, now we know Michael B. Jordan is in it. Now we know Kid Cudi is in it. I don't think they haven't said anything yet, right? So we know she was dating Michael B. Jordan. She was dating Kid Cudi, but she had to cut those relationships short because Diddy, he would find out and he would get upset, right? And then so those two are in it now. And then her and her best friend of 17 years, they ended up falling out because Diddy hit her with a hanger. They got into it, and then she ended up suing both of them. And then they didn't say how much money, but it was in demand, and Cassie ended up paying. She ended up settling with the her friend, and now her and her friend do not talk. They only talk like probably one time. That's it. But y'all, today was a whole lot of. I really like this. I really like how I was taking notes, because there's no cameras in the courtroom, so of course taking notes, like, keeps me busy. I'm gonna have my special notepad for this case so I can keep up with y'all all throughout the case. Today is day 4. Tomorrow we will be back with day 5. Don't forget to follow me on all my social media platforms. I'll put that down below. Follow me on Instagram, Snapchat, Twitter, because I get in to the tea. There was a lot going on. Woo! There's a lot. Y'all heard Chris Brown got arrested in another country. That broke out today. So that's even crazier onto everything that's going on. Okay? So we're going to get into that. Oh, I should do a video on Chris Brown. I'm going to do a video on Chris Brown. But y'all, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Comment down below. What are y'all thoughts on this trial so far? It will be a long trial because they're saying that they're getting Cassie out the way because she's about to give birth. That is why she's there right now, giving her side. But there is a lot more to this case. It's only day 4 and stuff is getting crazy outside the courtroom. People are yelling. People are screaming. I heard Diddy's kids are there in support for him. So clock that T. They say that he looks thinner. He has gray hair. It's really impacting him. You can see it physically how it's impacting him. But y'all, I hope I went through everything. Tomorrow is day 5. I will be taking as much notes as I can. I did day 1, but I'm going to start doing these every day for y'all to keep y'all in tune with the tea. Please, y'all, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. I love y'all, and I will see y'all tomorrow for day 5. Bye, y'all. Love you.